Okay, so we left off with my form not behaving itself over in the browser, and then I started to work on getting the contact form to actually do something, and I ran into another problem. So I ran into two things, and they were all in the problem of, or like the style, how I named my fields. So here's the first thing, and this is simply an error on my part, and I apologize. I said that some scripts you need to have an alphabetizing system or numbering system so that the fields get sent in order to you. So I had like A dash and B dash, or no, I had 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Well, I realized after I finished recording the previous video, you cannot start your IDs with a number. So I changed those. So none of these start with a number. There's no 01, no 02, no 03. My apologies on that. The other thing is, as I started to work on processing the script, it doesn't like, and I did not know this from previous experience, just the way I was naming it this time, it didn't like dashes in its name. So now if it had more than one name in it or more than one word, like how did you hear about us, it's all camel case now. There's no spaces in here, and there's no dashes in here. And I think I caught them all. So rather than watch me undo everything, I just thought I would redo this recording and tell you what I learned, and we'll go from there. So, the file is now, I've got all my styles in order. So I've got things, the width that I want and the background color that I want. Then I did a search for a really simple contact form, which always manages to go to the right place. It's actually a nice and simple contact form from CSS Trick. So when I did the search here, it'd be better if you just did nice and simple contact form. It goes to CSS Tricks. You go to CSS Tricks and you download this sample. And once you download the sample, and he will probably in here walk you through it. He does say, I cannot give you help with this. And he also says if you just want to get a form up on your site without any hassle, go here, and I agree. So then there's more things on here that, things that people have done. This place you can generate a form and you won't be able to style it, but this, well, you will, but you won't do it through Dreamweaver. You'll use their engine. You can, with Wufoo, WUFOO.com, you can go ahead and create a form over there, really advanced form, and plug it in. It's just, if you can just use a simple form for a simple contact, information thing, why go through a provider? If you need something fancy, Wufoo is exactly where I would go because it does all sorts of stuff, like you can accept files and things like that. All right, that being said, we're going to use this plugin. So I downloaded the files. I unzipped the files. The files come with, so here it is, nice and simple contact form. It's styled so it looks pretty. So it's got its own style sheet, and then it looks like this. Okay. And it comes with Contact Thanks and Contact Engine. Well, Contact Engine is the thing that's actually going to process your script. So that I moved out here. I made a copy and I moved it out here. And that's what we're going to modify. All right, so that's the first thing you do. You take Contact Engine and you copy it and you put it in with your HTML file, so your root folder. Put a copy right there. The next thing is he has a contact thanks PHP. I simply took this file and did a file save as and saved it as thank-u HTML, which now I'm wondering if it's going to be angry about the dash, but we're going to go with that for the moment. Thank-you.html. I like my thank you message, so when they hit submit, what do they get? They get this thank you message. I like it to look just like the page that the form was on, so it just feels like a message loaded. So we have that. And then we have Contact Engine here. And I started to put stuff in, as you can see, and I have this weird error message. So let me take this back to the state that it was in, which was this. Now, you see here that there's all sorts of, oh, and there were a couple other things here. We'll go all the way back. So to start out with, this Contact Engine PHP start out with the author of the script. So I changed it to me. So we'll just do Control Y. And the email to is also going to go to me. The subject, I changed it to contact form. Now we have these 4 fields here. What the heck is this? And what is this? Well, this is where we start experimenting. We look at what he's got. So if we look at this, we can see that his ID is name. So his name happens to be name, the name of the field, happens to be name with a capital N. And you see that that is what's right. That was what was right here. It was a capital N. Okay. So I'm pretty sure he's referencing this. City is not here. He's got tel, and I think that's a typo on his part, because then he's got email and message, and they're both capitals because that's how he's got it in here, message and email. Okay. So he's either referencing the name or he's referencing the ID, but memory tells me it's the name. So I'm going to go to my form now. I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to say, all right, this is name lowercase. Alrighty, so in Contact Engine PHP, I'm going to change this to name lowercase. This can say stay. Usually when it's in single quotes like this, it has to do it's a value of some kind. So so like here, double quotes, that's going to be printed on the page. Here is a value. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to exactly how it is as well. So I'm going to have these mirror name and name. The next one on my form here is did you hear? So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this whole thing. Hold on, let me grab it. The name for this is how did you hear? See, it used to be B, how did you hear? And we're going to put that in here. And we'll go ahead and put that over here. Again, don't know if they absolutely need to match, but we're going to go ahead and say that they do. Because I don't write PHP and I don't know what this is all saying. So I'm assuming that we're creating a variable here, and that variable is pulling from this information. So name over in our form, this is name in our form, or how did you hear? The value, the information that's coming from here is going to get stored as either this or this, and that information, it knows to pull that information by these things, I think is what's happening. I could be completely and totally wrong because I do not write PHP. But I have worked with this form a number of times with this processor, and it works really well. So we will do that, but it has been quite a while since I've used it. And we will do that. And then we will take this one. So all you PHP people out there, you can laugh because this is not what I do, and it's quite obvious. What is the question? And we will do what is the question here. Hold on, I feel like I have missed something. Just a moment, we'll put that one in. And that one in. I think I've missed one, or I overwrote one. We have a name up here. Ah, there it is. How did you hear? Yep, I did. All right, let me just take this guy up here. There. Okay, so how did you hear? So again, that's just the name right here. How did you hear? I could grab it this way as well. And I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so I think that's all I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And I'm going to double check. So you could add more. If you had another line, you could just copy this and add the next one. We've done some very long ones before. Okay, so then if I wanted to have an error message, if there's an error with this, I can create an error.html or name it whatever I want. It's saying if there's a problem, send the person here. I do not have an error here. Let's go ahead and create one. Save as error.html, and we'll do this. Okay, there. So that's called error.html. So we'll change this from error.html to error.html. All right, so then down here, okay, so you have this value, this variable, $name. So it wants, so the first one happens to be name, right? So this is, what's happening here is this information from the form is going to get emailed to me. And we have to prepare the email body text. So this is what I will see in my email, name, space, and then I will see whatever is being stored in this variable. Well, I don't have variable capital N-A-M-E. I have a variable lowercase n-a-m-e, so I'm going to put that in here. Then this right here is PHP for a line return. So the next one is, how did you hear? And we're going to go right here and put that next to the $, and this, instead of tell, it will say, how did you hear about us? And this is just going to come in an email to me. The next one is contact preference. So again, after the $, and then right here, this is what will be printed in the email to me. Contact preference. Then the next one, what is the question? $, what is the question? There, question. So, all right, so we have a line return, line return, line return. All right, because you can put all sorts of stuff in here. And then the email, it's saying when it gets sent, if it's successful, pull email to subject, body, and see, it's saying here, these are all body variable. This is all part of body, so that's that. Subject is right up here. Subject equals this. Email to equals this, where it's going to. And it probably is going to have an email from right here, right there. Okay, so that's all good. Then, if successful, it wants us to go to contact thanks PHP, but we made up this thank you.html, and that's what we're going to change this to. And we're going to hope it has no problem with thank-u.html. Okay. Or else go to, remember we named it error.html, error.html. Okie doke. So this is all good. We are going to upload all of this. So we have contact engine, error, the table. Thank you. Okay, so those are all going to go up to Newhouse Studios Beta, where they need to be processed. And we have it under demo, and it is table.html. Okay, so test 1. I heard about this from a friend. Phone. Test 1 question. Hopefully something happens here. Submit question. Thank you for your question. Okay, we will respond as quickly as possible. Okay, so the email made it, but the information didn't. The little things we typed in did, but not the information. Yay! Hold on a minute. Okay, so it seems like I've run into this problem before, and I think it also needs, I'm back on my table where I've got my form and I've got my form tag selected. It seems like I also need to change this to get instead of default. Like I actually have to tell it to do get. So I'm going to save and push this up. Okay, so I changed that to get, and we're going to go here and refresh. Oops, no we're not. We're going to go back to this. And we're going to say test 2 and test 2 question. Okay, here we go. Submit. Okay, that worked. And hold on a sec. Okay, after a couple more rounds of trial and error, it's not get. Yeah, that's wrong. I knew it had to do with that. It's post. And I also removed the application form, blah, blah, blah. I got rid of that encoding type. So post. Post works. So if we do test 4 or 5, whatever my keys hit, and test 6. Good, look at that. All sorts of craziness. Hit submit. Okay, we will look at this. There we go. Test 5. How did you hear about us? Friend, phone, test 6 question. And the processing time on this, for me anyway, is really, really, really fast. So, like in under a minute, I'm getting it in my inbox. So it all depends on your mail. Like I'm going through Gmail through the district for our college. But anyway, there you go. With a few snafus in the way, we made it. That's how you get there. And that is how you make it, the one way to make a form process. Now you can go through the WUFU if you wish. That's fine. That would count too, because that definitely is something that I have used for clients, and it, depending on the complexity of the form, would be a very, very, very valid thing to do. So there you go.